can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two f***s, but I am telling you right now, that back there is not real.
What did you really mean by that?
It was a figure of speech, like he's not being real.
Like when you say this person's fake or this person's not real, he's not quote unquote keeping it real. You weren't saying that this person is not a real person.
Yes.
Why did you think the people were in danger on the flight?
Just due to the altercation. I don't want to go into too much detail.
It is the police call everybody will be talking about. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm Brian Loftus. A family says something crashed into their backyard, prompting them to call 911, saying they saw creatures walking around.
Our 8 News Now investigators digging into this for weeks now. And tonight, our David Charnes with the video you will only see on 8 News Now. David?
Right, Denise, sources telling the 8 News Now investigators that several agencies believe something landed or crashed. Whether it was non-humans or not, it certainly scared the people living on this property. Now, before we show you that video, listen to their call for help.
There's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually, we're terrified of it.
So there's 2 people or 2 subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
This is the strange story of Andrew Dawson under the TikTok handle Andy Capped, who claimed on his TikTok channel to have filmed a giant on top of a mountain in the Jasper National Park in Alberta, Canada, and then documented a strange series of events trying to refilm the entity in the following months, leading up to some tragic events.
Você consegue captar as vibrações? Vem até nós. Só não vem à noite.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
Você consegue captar as vibrações? Vem até nós. Só não vem à noite.
Mano, pior que mexe esquisito demais.
Parece, sabe aquele lance de índio?
Essas plásticas é grande.
Aquele movimento de índio. Morro, olha. Olha ali, olha ele no meio do morro.
Ele vai ser muito camufladão,
a gente tá 1,5 km daqui, né?
Olha só, ele tá descendo agora. Ele tá descendo daqui, ó.
Gente, é muito...
Cara, menos de 1 minuto.
Olha só.
Não, gente, vamos lá, mãe. Vamos.
Não, olha lá.
Que como que se fosse um macaco?
Tá conseguindo ver ele ainda?
Aham.
Em direção a essa pedra aqui.
Tá no zoom máximo aqui.
Não, eu tô vendo aí.
É um gigante mesmo.
Ele tá descendo.
É um gigante mesmo.
Não, ele vai pra algum lugar, velho.
Gente, olha o tamanho do cara lá.
Olha a rapidez. Olha a rapidez.
Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever. And are you beginning to see a trend? Because I am. If you followed my work for any amount of time, you know this is a subject that I've been watching forever, it feels like. The veil is lifting. It's a message I was putting in videos almost 10 years ago. And here we are. This is what we're watching. We're watching the veil lifting. By now, I'm sure you've heard about the Miami aliens, the whole Miami alien incident. And of course, they have to continually insert that word alien into all of this, and I personally feel that's a big part of the PSYOP. I've been making videos for years warning about this coming fake alien invasion. But it's not all going to be just fake. I see a lot of people saying it's just going to be 100% Project Bluebeam. There'll be nothing real. That's not true. Remember that we're not dealing with other humans. We're dealing with spirits. We're in a spiritual war. So we deal with demonic entities, interdimensional beings, principalities in high places. This is a spiritual war. We're at the doorstep of tribulation, so nobody should be surprised that all these stranger things are coming in. And speaking of Stranger Things, the television series, any real popular TV series or movie these days typically is going to be filled with satanic symbolism or Illuminati symbols. And that's just showing you the spirit behind the art. It's just showing you the spirit operating through the people. When we start finding these symbols and all these things and this predictive programming, we know this is coming to us from that hive mind of Satan. It works through people. But isn't it interesting? In Stranger Things, the television series, which is filled with satanic symbolism, imagery, and even ideals, they have a scene where all the teenagers go to a mall and try to fight a demonic creature with fireworks. And that's the same story they were telling us in the mainstream about what happened at the mall in Miami. They were saying it was a bunch of teenagers fighting with fireworks. And then we start getting footage of some really strange anomalies. It's one of the reasons I wanted to wait for a little while before I actually did this video, so I could get some more footage. I just wanted to give people a little bit of time to start posting. In doing so, I think I found some really good footage here, some things that you may not have even seen yet. So I wanted to put it together as I have, and I wanted to share it with you and then let you decide. But that's where we're headed. They're going to tell us it's aliens. They are going to be bringing in the fake alien invasion. And absolutely Project Bluebeam will be a part of this, but there will be actual real entities here. And people continually complain about, the footage that you get. The supernatural footage is always like shot on a potato, something's wrong. Oh, well, no. And there's also the argument that there's just not enough footage from the Miami incident. I have a clip. I have several clips I'm going to show you, but I have a clip near the end I'm going to share. I'm going to let the whole thing run. It's about 9 minutes, and I think it's from one of the most authentic people that I've seen that was actually claims to have been there and what they saw. And even with his idea and his theory on why there's not as many people filming, why you're not getting the footage, all of it I thought was really great. So I'm going to share him near the end, but until we get there, I have some other things to show you, plenty of other things to share. Satan in the flesh is about to take control of the system. This fake alien agenda is going to be a really big part of that. And these aliens, once they're introduced to the people, they're going to tell you that there's no creator God, there's certainly no Jesus. That they are our creators through what they call panspermia. They planted us here a long time ago and been watching us grow ever since. This will be one of the many lies they tell the people. But remember, we're dealing with deceiving spirits here. We're dealing with tricksters. These are shape-shifting, demonic, interdimensional entities. They can come in any shape or form they want. So keeping that in mind, let's take a look at some of this footage right here. The most popular footage you've seen is of what looks like some kind of a giant creature walking in front of the entrance of the mall. So we're going to check that out. I flipped it, the colors, and did it in black and white, and I think it came out a lot better. But this right here is some footage you've probably seen, but once again, I've got some footage you probably haven't. But we'll check this out. And we have this gentleman right here. This is one of the guys that right after the incident came out, posted a video explaining what he saw. But then, of course, within 24 hours, he comes back with another video trying to say nothing happened and he was just trolling, which reminds me of Tiffany Gomez. You could tell was truly terrified on that plane, really saw something unusual, completely flipped out. It was just between her and some dude. I don't think we would have had that reaction. It's kind of like at the Miami Mall. Why did they send hundreds of police officers, it seems, like everyone they had, for just a fight for some kids? We know that's not true. We have to critically think through all these lies and this deception. Since he came back within 24 hours and posted another video saying he was just trolling, it makes me wonder if somebody reached out to him. Because again, when you see this clip near the end, you'll find that from what this witness claims, that the police were actually confiscating phones too and making people erase any footage, videos, or pictures they may have taken.
I was down in Miami for the New Year's. You know what I'm saying? Me and my girl, I got a little time share. We was down there on like a mini vacay, just to start the New Year's off right. So anyway, we happened to be at that mall. So we had Foot Locker or whatever. Next thing you know, you start hearing all this commotion outside. Sound like firecrackers or something. So you know what I'm saying? I grabbed my clothes. I'm like, yo, we about to get up out of here because I originally thought that they were shooting. You know what I'm saying? I thought some type of gunfight had broke out, or whatever the case is, because we're not familiar with Miami, we're not familiar with the city. So I'm like, damn, I ain't even got my blick. So you know what I'm saying? We about to swerve. Next thing I know, it's like crazy. Like we just see all these people running, like fat chicks, old ladies. Like I'm talking about moving. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, old people even. I'm talking about moving. So my girl, she like, what's going on? Like fuck all that, we out. Like I'm not gonna ask no questions. We just gonna follow the crowd. Next thing you know, real like gunshots start going off. So you know what I'm saying? Like we trying to follow the crowd, get out of there. I look back, no cap, yo, no cap. I look back, it looked like a big ass shadow, but it was solid at the same time, like a few shadows, but they were solid at the same time. And it almost looked like they was coming our direction, like they was chasing us, but they was disappearing and reappearing closer. So I'm like, yo, so we start really moving. Next thing you know, we start hearing more gunshots, like these dudes start firing at this shit. We get outside, mad police, all that. You know what I'm saying? The police is like trying to get all the people that ran out the mall. They like trying to detain these people, whatever. But me and my girl, we ended up just, sliding past all that and everything like that. But, a lot of people saying, why didn't nobody film and all that when that type of shit is going on? You know what I'm saying? Shit like that, like some paranormal. Nobody thinking about no phone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going survival mode. But for real, they lying, yo. All them officers and all that, they was not there because of no kids fighting. It was really some like movie shit going on in there, yo. So, that's what it was, yo.
Here's some footage you may not have seen of this. It's very interesting. Again, there are some angles on this that are kind of blurry, but I've also got some really clear shots, okay? And you're not going to see it, just right there standing in front of you, but just kind of watch this, take a look, and you should be able to make out what looks like a very tall figure walking through this park, a giant, if you will.
Witness claims that it's a tall shadow figures, and some claim that it's a Project Bluebeam.
Watch right here. You can see something
mid-screen,
really
you see that?
tall and kind of translucent. Right there. See it?
There. Mid-screen,
By the palm tree.
mid
And
photo.
now it's going to walk in
See that
front
subtle
of
figure walking through the lights?
that building.
It's
You
about
see
10
how
feet
it's kind
tall.
of translucent?
Oh, we are in the age of AI. This could absolutely be a hoax. It is all in the scope of biblical last days issues.
Here's another sequence. Take a good look at this, okay? Now remember, the reports were that in different places there were these beings, different beings walking around. And you take a look right here. I'm not saying for sure this is what it is, but look at this clip right here. Looks like we have a tall white looking being walking here. I compare it to the other people around it. It doesn't look the same. But whatever this thing is, it's very tall compared to the other people, and it's white, which is interesting because there is a race of alien beings, which I think is just another one of the disguises for demons, but it's the tall whites. And we've even seen a commercial from UNICEF with these tall whites walking with Obama. You may remember that.
Greetings, citizens of Earth. My people have developed technologies which allow us to throw off our physical forms and travel great distances in the blink of an eye. We are in dialogue with your leaders to help the human race survive its infancy, for we believe in you. We are helping your scientists find cures for diseases which afflict your bodies, and helping you to preserve your planet's most precious resources. Many among us wage peace, and one day, with our help, war may be a thing of the past.
Now check this clip out. It's another one that's very interesting. I believe it really does show something happening because we've seen this kind of footage before. But watch closely with this car and you'll see what looks like a shadow jump off of the car and go to the side of the road, and it seems to go into a drainage ditch. I bring this up because we've seen this type of thing before. I've shown you the Travis Scott demon. Somebody filmed a demon jumping into a crowd. You can see its arms and everything at Travis Scott. And of course we also have this footage here from the floods in Brazil. You remember Brazil last year had a very satanic carnival, and then that night they were hit with a massive storm, massive flooding, people lost their lives. But during this flooding, take a look here and you'll actually see what I believe is similar to the spirit we see in Miami. It's another black, dark spirit. Remember, these are shapeshifters. Maybe this is just its kind of typical form, but I believe we see that here in this flood. We see one of these spirits, these demonic entities active. course, we also had the police response within 24 hours of this, trying to make fun of it and act like there was nothing to see here. And of course, they're going to do that.
All right, guys, so just to address a few clips that are going viral on social media right now. First, our response to that big incident in Bayside Marketplace. What happened was there was about 50 or more juveniles that were shooting fireworks at people. There was also some looting going on, so officers that were on that scene were having a little bit of trouble containing it, so they called what is called a citywide 3, which every officer in the city responded. That's why you saw so much police presence for that call to contain that crowd. Now, there is now video going viral of 8 to 10 foot aliens walking around Bayside. It's actually just a person walking with a shadow. So I can confirm to you all here today right now that there are no aliens in Miami, in Bayside Marketplace at the moment.
Reminds me of what happened out in Phoenix, Arizona many years ago when they had one of the most talked about massive, like widely seen UFO experiences many years ago. Massive UFO just went right over Phoenix. And then within 24 hours, the governor or the mayor, one of the two, came out making fun of it, of course, mocking it, just to make people think it's stupid or not really want to talk about it because they're going to think they look stupid if they bring this up now. See, that's how that kind of thing works.
Fitz Symington is now a businessman. He was the Republican governor of Arizona for 6 years, elected when the first George Bush was president. Now, a decade after leaving the State House, he takes me to a Phoenix park and discloses something unlike anything uttered by any other high-level U.S. politician.
If you had been here 10 years ago and standing out here and looking up there at the lights and the view, you would have been astounded. You would have been amazed.
Governor Symington is referring to what is now known as the Phoenix Lights, an object videotaped by many and seen by thousands over several nights in the Arizona sky in 1997.
Major sighting here.
It was described by witnesses as larger than a football field and silent.
It was a giant V, all right? And the right side of the V went over us. The left side was like a couple blocks over it.
We just didn't know what to do. You know, it was just like, my God, how big is this thing?
The great state of Arizona, Fitz Symington.
The former governor, a Vietnam Air Force veteran, had never publicly acknowledged seeing it until now.
And I suspect that unless the Defense Department proves us otherwise, that it was probably some form of an alien spacecraft.
So why didn't he say anything then? Partly, he says, because he didn't want people to panic.
And I think as a public figure, you have to be very careful about what you say, because people can have pretty emotional reactions, and I said my goal wasn't to try to stir the pot.
And he went to humorous and controversial lengths not to stir the pot. He held a news conference after the Phoenix Lights to announce the mystery had been solved.
And now I'll ask Officer Stein and his colleagues to escort the accused into the room so that we may all look upon the guilty party. Don't get him too close to me, please.
In the alien costume, the governor's chief of staff.
This just goes to show that you guys are entirely too serious.
UFO enthusiasts were not amused, especially since the governor was believed to have seen nothing. But now he's coming out.
The lights were really brilliant, and it was just fascinating. I mean, it was enormous. It just felt otherworldly. You know, in your gut, you could just tell it was otherworldly.
Symington will be talking about this in an updated film about UFOs called Out of the Blue. He has also talked with an organization that wants UFO information more out in the open.
It's very significant that someone of the stature of a governor would come out and say that they acknowledge that they experienced a UFO, because it brings a lot of credibility and strength to the case.
Governor Symington says he did tell his family, friends, and staff about what he saw early on.
I still, behind the scenes, tried to investigate it, but I got nowhere.
So what were the Phoenix Lights? Well, frankly, we don't know. What we do know is that it's as much of a mystery today as it was a decade ago. Gary Tuckman, CNN.
We've also been getting all kinds of footage over the last few years, especially of giants. Footage that appears to be capturing a humanoid, really big creature in different parts of the world. I've been showing these on KJ's What Happened on my show now for quite a while. A few years, though, we've definitely been seeing more of them come in. All of this is evidence for the end of time, man. We're back in as the days of Noah, where the giants ruled the earth, and we're beginning to get more and more footage of these giants. We're getting creatures showing up in people's backyards and in malls. But of course, the mainstream is constantly going to call these aliens because that's part of the next big agenda. Just remember that it's a deception. It's a lie. These aren't creatures from other planets. These are demonic interdimensional beings. At this point, it's been over a week since the situation happened in Miami. And once again, no one's ever going to convince me that it was just, a police presence for some children that were playing with fireworks. They were fighting in public. Just look at some of the other examples that we've had recently. Even in Peru, we have the strange situation in Peru within the last few months of the face peelers. People were saying that there are people flying around out there trying to grab people, take them away, cutting people, and even removing their face. Yeah, and I showed you guys some footage of one of the victims of that during one of the KJ's What Happened shows. But that's just one story. So we got Tiffany Gomez. We got the creatures in Vegas. All this has been happening just in the last year or so, and it's a buildup. It's not going to stop. This is going to continue on and on. And as I said, we'll be getting more footage of these beings, but they're going to be calling them aliens. It's all going to be about the alien UFO agenda, getting the people here on Earth ready to meet their fake saviors. And that's really what it's going to come down to. Don't be deceived. I really believe you must have Jesus Christ in these days. Have him as your personal Lord and Savior. Be filled with that Holy Spirit. Be given the wisdom to be able to see these things, to understand that you really are in a world filled with deceptions and lies. That's what it is. I know it's not a nice way to look at it for some, but you've got to find the truth, man, so you can be set free, and see this situation, see this world for what it is. That being said, here's the last clip. I've seen over the last few days a few people found this, and they've only shared maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes of what this man's saying. But you need to hear the whole thing. So it's like 9 minutes long, but listen to what he's saying. And then, you decide for yourself. You judge for yourself. Discern for yourself what you think. But once again, no one's going to tell me that was just, some crime situation out there, okay? I see the trends. This is what I do for a living all the time. Shout out to my supporters. And I can see these trends. I see these things coming. And, of course, I was making videos about this 8 years ago, about the coming fake alien invasion, and now it's right here upon us. So check out this video.
My name is Fitz. I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. Don't pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout, but what happened, we all saw what happened, and it's pretty serious. It's been a few days, and our whole family's processing it, but I think we've kind of accepted that we were a part of this weird experience and moment. So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister, and my nephew. We were looking for shoes for my nephew. And then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store, just running out in a direction. So, as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew, and we picked him up and we ran out and we followed the crowd. And then about a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, my nephew, he's autistic, so he was pointing behind us and he was saying blankie, which he'll usually say whenever he feels unsafe or scared. And he was pointing behind us. So me and my brother, we look behind us, and then we see these 3 9-10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. None of us really knew. Everyone, all of us stopped in our track. We, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. There were other people running. There was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, it looked like it was glitching. Not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And whatever maybe was covering them had, unveiled or whatever. It looked like a glitch, man. It like a weird glitch in the Matrix or whatever. And and then you could see it in its full form, all three of them. And then, you know, they were all black. You saw eyes, and you could faintly see like lips. But, yeah, I was about like 20 feet away, because obviously everybody gave it distance, right? And, you know, they're tall. So we all just like looked at them. They were just standing there. And the thing that was a little bit weird, well, it was clearly like observing us. It was sentient, right? Like, or whatever. I mean, I don't know, but it was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd, and then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, like kind of like it started like almost glitching again, we all ran. My brother like immediately said, "Yo, let's go." He grabbed me by the shoulder. We bolted out of there. And for anyone that's like saying, you know, where's the footage? Where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage, and I'll explain why. Cause like when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch about it. Like, I froze. And I don't care who you are. I feel like when you're seeing something paranormal, it's different than when you're seeing a fight. Yeah, you'll probably want to record that and put it on World Star or whatever. When you see something paranormal, that's different. Because your reality, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. A fight, you kind of get it. Two people are fighting. You can comprehend that. Something like this, none of us could comprehend. Your first instinct is like, it ain't to like take out your phone and start recording. Your first instinct is like, I've never seen this before. What is this? Is it gonna hurt me or my family? That was my first number one priority. So if you don't believe me, I get it. You know, it's fine. Like, it is silly. I'm sure that someone had footage from that night. If you did, please contact me just so that, you know, we actually have it. So anyways, as soon as the creature started moving, we all just jetted out there. We ran out the front doors. And, you know, obviously, like, we see a whole sea of cop cars, mad cop cars, other ones were coming in. And we ran with our nephew, and then, you know, a cop stopped us. You know, they took us to a bit of a safer area behind the cars. And then, and they asked us what we saw. And we told them what we saw. You know, they wrote it down, and they asked everybody to check their phones. Not everybody, because there was mad people like running away too, right? They couldn't get everyone. So I'm wondering if someone's gonna post a video. But yeah, they looked through everyone's phone. I didn't record anything, so I was fine. None of us recorded anything, so we were basically free to go. But in the distance, you could still see, like, you know, I didn't see the beings come out the door, right? But you could see on the side of the building, kind of like that clip that everyone's seeing, that it was slowly walking. And it was like, it wasn't cloaking or glitching or whatever. It was walking. So I don't know if it seemed more like it was an interdimensional thing. Someone's coming into our dimension or whatever, a bunch of them. And I think, you know, that it was just interesting, the police response, because there was a whole bunch of them. This ain't for no teenagers. No, this was for something way bigger. And it almost seemed like the cops had like an already made strategy for it, because they surrounded one of the beings with like all their police cars. They blared it up even louder because you could hear that it was louder. Maybe as an attempt to like distract it or let it know like, hey, you don't belong here, right? And you know, they were trying to like slowly move alongside with it. But I didn't see anything else after that, because me and my family, we got out of there. We went into our car, we went home, because, you know, we had our nephew with us, and we went to make sure, like, you know, he was okay. So I'm still kind of like processing everything. Like, it's weird, but at the same time, I'm glad that we weren't alone in seeing it, because like it was a whole bunch of us that saw it. And it feels kind of like, you know, you're part of something like really big, but at the same time it's confusing, because like you want to kind of like show people. Like, I wish I took a video, man. Like, because people are gonna probably think I'm crazy, right? But yeah, I'm left with more questions. Like, we were all kind of left with more questions than anything else. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's aliens. I know everybody's saying it's aliens. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I saw something come in through like a weird glitchy, maybe a portal or whatever. And it was like they were pretty tall. You could see some features of it. They were very dark, like and shiny, but I can't tell if it was like a wet shiny or like a metallic shiny. And yeah, and long limbs. Long limbs, long fingers. They were definitely humanoid in shape, and shadowy. But maybe that shadowiness was like from a glitch or whatever, like whatever cloaking maybe they had like fell off. But yeah, it felt like something was coming into our world or whatever, like a fucking Stranger Things episode. But it was crazy, man. Like,
well, my friends, that's what I wanted to share with you in this video. It's a huge story. It's a huge story. It's bigger, I think, than some people give it credit for. People will still complain, the video's not good, and how come people didn't shoot video? And, there's a lot of things to take into consideration when someone's having one of these experiences. When you see something that you're used to only seeing in movies and TV shows right in front of your face, manifesting in your reality, it's going to change things up. Are you really going to sit there and think, I'm going to grab my phone, or are you going to run for your life? So, again, there's different things to take into consideration for these kinds of experiences, but they're certainly not going away. Prepare your hearts and your minds for what's to come. It also reminds me of that scripture that men's hearts will be failing them for seeing what's coming upon the earth. And I feel that fits with what we're going into, because 2024, get ready for a lot more paranormal and supernatural experiences in the mainstream. Get ready, it's coming. So thank you guys once again for checking out the video. I hope you're doing well out there. Take care of yourselves. I'm working on new videos right now, so I'll have something else up real soon. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.